What's up, GH peeps? What's happening? Welcome back to my channel where we talk all things General Hospital. Today's late night review is for Friday, folks. We made it. It is June 14th, 2024. So, guys, I am posting like seriously late. I wasn't going to post tonight. I was just going to offer my apologies to you guys. I had to say goodbye to my uncle today, and it has been super tough. Yeah, but I couldn't sleep. I just can't sleep. I got too much in my mind. Yeah, just too much. So I thought, get up here and talk to my peeps. So let's talk about today's show, shall we? And please like and subscribe if you haven't already. Please leave your highlights and your comments in the comment section. You guys know I love your highlights and what you think is going on with the show. But we're just going to dive in, and I'll talk about my highlights as we talk about today's show. So the day starts off at Ava's Art Gallery, where we have the handsome Geo that's auditioning to be a violinist for Ava's upcoming gallery show. And Trina is giving Geo all kinds of glowing recommendations. Of course, Geo does mention the fact that his Uncle Sonny has been his benefactor, and that gets Ava's eye. So I'm pretty sure she probably was going to choose him just to be our stay in Sonny's good graces. But let's just be real, the boy can play. Or shall we say, the young man can play. I'm looking forward to hearing more. I have done some YouTubing and searching on him, and he's damn good. So it's going to be fun. It's going to be interesting to see what he can bring to the General Hospital. It's going to be nice to see some new players on there. And of course, Geo's playing gets Trina's attention, and she likens his playing to art and painting. Josh shows up to go apartment hunting, and while Geo's and Ava are discussing payments and all that good stuff, she's checking out Geo's violin, rubbing her hand on the strings. I used to play violin, by the way. It is a very beautiful and romantic instrument. While she's sitting there going oohs and ahs over Geo and his playing, he's walking up, checking, listening to everything she's saying. And I was feeling Geo's playing. I'm looking forward to hearing Geo play. It's a lot different when you've heard him play for real. He's really good. But guys, I want your opinion. Does this whole entire did it seem forced? I mean, like Trina's interest. Did it seem forced? Is it just me? I may be hypersensitive. I don't know. But it seemed just a little bit forced. But like I said, the girls are there to do. Well, Joss is there to so her and Trina can go look at some apartments. And as they're standing there, 2 apartments get snatched up. And if it's anything like where I stay, if the apartments are really nice and a really good price, they're going quick and fast. Geo offers them the Quartermain apartment that's over the garage. And I'm trying to remember who had this apartment, and I might have to play back again, but that apartment looks really familiar. Or it just might be a new set. And if it's a new set, Frank has done it again. Joss assures with Michael's support and Michael going to his auntie, his aunt Monica. That would be his aunt Monica, right? Monica is Alan, and yeah, Aunt Monica. She's pretty sure they'll get the place. Trina is having cold feet, but she's got Joss, her bestie, by her side, and she eventually says, yeah, this will be a good start for them, and Geo will be their neighbor. So guys, I mean, like, my really only thing about that is I just didn't feel, I don't know. I don't know. Maybe it's just not Kimming for me. I don't know. but I felt like it was a little too forced. But that's just my opinion. Y'all let me know what y'all think. We're gonna go on over to Aurora, where we got Drew ignoring a call from Nina, and Congressman McConkey visiting and asking Drew about his seat, and has Drew made his decision yet as far as running for Congress. And of course, Nina walks in because that's what her and Drew do. They just burge into each other's offices. I mean, like, well, they normally are burging into each other's offices to, do the wow thing. But this time, she was coming for something different. And she sees the congressman there, and she's like, oh, what's going on? And Drew tells Nina about him running for Congress and replacing McConkey. But when she brought up this man's criminal past, and P.S., that's the only thing she can bring up, I wish the petty in me was like, oh yeah, baby stiller with mental health issues, you are one to point, girlfriend. And weren't you just married to a mobster? Girl, sit down somewhere. Have several seats, Nina. But Nina does give Drew glowing recommendations and says that he would be the perfect candidate. And of course, McConkey does want Drew to change his name to Quartermain, and that would be good. Name wins sometimes. And he's happy, and he heads out. Drew's like, really, Nina? Really? You're going to bring up my history when you were the one who really got me and pointed the SEC in my direction? I'm just going to leave that name blame alone because these two, anyway. I wrote, because this is what bothers me about these two. The fact that these two are playing, because they're playing. They might like to do the other thing, but they don't seem like they really like each other. If they do like each other, they might just be in denial about it. I don't know. But I do not like the fact that these two are playing like they like each other, so Nina can get back in Willow's good graces. And it sickens me. The manipulation sickens me. And I'm like, so now we're just ruining Drew some more? I mean, he's already like a piss poor dad. I mean, this is next. Now he's going to... I don't like it. I don't like it. I really feel like, yeah, he is giving her some really good tips on how to pace herself with, swallowing Willow up because she's so needy. But that is a good thing. But the manipulation stuff, I don't know. It's just not right. It's not right. And then we did see Willow peep game on a little bit of it, but I don't think she knows the fullness. Like, she really does think that Drew and Nina are just such great people, and I think if she really knew the situation, she would be disgusted. I'm just gonna keep it real. Nina's real visit is really about asking it what she should or could do about Willow's birthday. And Drew lets her know that, well, Michael is throwing her a B-day party. And yeah, girlfriend, you shouldn't be expecting an invitation, especially since Willow didn't even bring it up. That's if she knows. And once again, Drew's like, well, I can see what I can do, but you got to do things my way. I'm just like, manipulation game. I don't like it. I don't like it. It's like Willow can't win. She's just going to constantly be manipulated. Either it's by Mike in his games, now it's Drew in his games, and Nina in their games. It's just, I don't like it. I don't like it, guys. Poo on that. Y'all let me know what y'all think about that. We're going to head on over to the Invader. Now, this story was the reason why I'm posting. I'm kind of glad that I'm going through something right now, because you would feel my angst talking about this. I was so livid, guys. I almost was like, you know what, GH, I can't do it no more. I can't go this way with you no more. I just can't. Guys, I am really not happy with a lot what's going on. With the representation, de-representation, whatever you want to call it. And Sandy Moon on Soap Dirt, she posted something, and I wish I could have pinned that for mine, because that's exactly how I'm feeling. But anyway, we're at the Invader, and Christina Christina visits Alexis to get help on taking the baby from TJ and Molly. That's all I got out of that. Because in her eyes, they separating, and she needs to stand up and protect the baby. And I'm thinking to myself, Christina, have you ever been able to actually protect yourself? And I really feel like she ain't trying to take this baby from Molly. I feel like she's trying to take the baby from TJ, because Molly's her sister. TJ is the only person who has an actual custody to this. When Alexis brings up couples fights, she's talking about them fighting and everything, and that's just like, well, that's what couples do. Christina's reasoning that TJ and Molly don't fight is foolish as hell. And I just couldn't. I just looked at her and like, you haven't even been in a really good relationship. Every single one of your relationships, Christina, has been toxic as hell. You really don't have a leg to stand on judging or trying to critique or trying to have any opinion about somebody's relationship. I mean, we could just talk about all the failed ones that you've had. Alexis tells her that all couples fight. And when she brings up that they've had enough time to work out their communication, that's when I was like, guys, I almost threw my remote control at the television. I didn't even go front. I was like, are you serious? You don't even, what communication? You and the current person you with right now, it got piss poor communication. Because she's running around here not telling her mama who she is. And how's this really gonna roll, right? She can't even stand up to her mom about your relationship. How's she gonna stand up to her mom about y'all relationship and a baby? That ain't technically hers, theirs, nobody's. It's Molly's and TJ's. You promised. This is why they chose you. You begged to be in the middle of this. And I will admit one more time, this woman hasn't had a lasting relationship, and most of them have been toxic as fuck. Toxic. Okay? So she don't have a leg to judge anybody about communication, about relationships. Alexis tries to get Christina to see reason. Then she brings up their domestic partnership and questions if Molly is really serious about being with TJ. And this is the only thing that I was like, I never really liked that word, and I did question Molly's sincerity when because TJ was the one who wanted to get married. He was the one who wanted to put roots down. And Molly was like, no, I don't want to be like everybody else. I just want to be, a domestic partnership where we share things equally. And I was like, I mean, is that even legal? I mean, is it like, whatever. And I wrote, more foolishness. You definitely can't judge anybody's relationship. You barely in one yourself. Barely. And y'all might say, Trish, she's in a whole relationship. Barely. Because Blaze ain't really, barely. They're not even out. They're in. Barely. Girl, guys, I cannot. Alexis asked, what does she want her to do? And I myself was like, I want you to stay the hell out of it, Alexis. Don't choose sides. Remind Christina of the promises that she made, and that's it. When Chris says she wants to protect this child and keep it in our family, I almost threw up in my mouth. Literally threw up in my mouth. From who? TJ? Like he would harm the baby. And yes, guys, TJ is being a little crazy about wanting her to stay away from her father, and about all this other stuff and everything like that. And everybody's like, well, wasn't TJ under Sonny's care at one time? But we got to remember the actors are giving what they're written. I have to say the same thing about Christina. But still, I honestly feel like TJ is the only one getting screwed in this whole entire plan by the knockoff Kardashian family. Because this is what the Davis girls remind me of. A knockoff brand of the Kardashian family. It's Selfish, self-centered, arrogant, narcissistic. I can keep going. And I know everybody's like, well, no. No, that's TJ's baby too. I'm tired of all the, he was such a terrible, that don't mean that man is going to be a terrible father. Because as I recall, and as everybody else, I'm not talking about my peeps, but as everybody else should remember, this man was hurting from the last baby he lost. Hurting. It was Molly that wasn't feeling shit. It was Molly that was not connected. It was Molly that, no. We got to get right back into it. We got to do it again. And TJ was hurting behind losing his first kid. Have we forgotten that? So all this hocus pocus about him not being able to be a good dad just because he's riding Christina's tails, and let's be real, we shouldn't trust her with the cactus. I mean, come on, guys. Come on, guys. I mean, I cannot. I cannot sit here and say this man wouldn't be a good father just because he wants to put Christina in a bubble. What the hell? That doesn't have anything to do with his parenting skills. And let's be real, he has a good, solid reason to be nervous, to be worried, even if it ain't about the Sonny situation. And P.S., there are people gunning for Sonny right now. P.S., Christina could get a straight bullet. So he's not really too far off base. And let's be real, he didn't want Christina to be the surrogate anyway, guys. Come on. He didn't. He was trying to please Molly. And I just don't like how when all of a sudden when TJ does get a voice, and yes, it's a little far, yeah. This is what they get. This is what y'all give him. This is it. And like I said, Sonny has had several attempts on his life. Several. They shot Curtis was in a chair behind being in the crosshairs of Sonny. So in a way, I can't believe I'm saying this, but TJ has a right to be a little concerned about her hanging out with her father, and people are gunning for him. And you know what? It took this for me to really see the realness of it. Because if vice versa, and I'm not even going to speak hypothetical, but I'm just going to speak on this certain situation. Let's just say your kid's father is in a gang, right? And he takes your newborn child to the hood to hang out with his buddies. But he's a good dad. But the baby's going to be safe. No, that baby ain't going to be safe because anything can pop off in that hood. Anything can pop off in that hood. So in a way, can you be easy on seeing this man? He was at the private island and somebody took a shot at him. The private island where Avery was playing on the beach and somebody took a shot at him. So, I mean, yeah, it's all kind of crazy how he's acting about it, but he does got a point. And I feel like we're overlooking it, because if that was our kid, I don't think a lot of people would be like, yeah, it's cool that you hang around somebody and your dad's trying to get unalive and you want to be always close to him and hanging out with him. He just lost his first kid. So he's hypersensitive. I feel like as a woman, we kind of just be like, no, how can, because I'm a woman and I was feeling like you can't just make her stay from her dad and keep her in a bubble and stress is going to happen and this is going to happen. But at the same time, TJ does have a little bit of reason, not even say a little bit, TJ does have a reason to be concerned. He does. And what if Molly, Christina seen that beat down from homeboy? What if that would have driven her to some early preterm labor? And the man just lost his first kid. So I feel like, and I'm going to say this for myself, I overlooked that because I'm a woman, and I was like, you can't put us in a box. But if you're putting my child at risk, and I know a lot of y'all won't agree, and that's fine. That's fine. But I like to look at all the things all the way, in every direction. And that's how I'm seeing it. And I'm a little teased at how she just proactively said, keep the baby in our family. Like, that ain't TJ's blood too. I mean, if TJ hadn't gave you that, you wouldn't be having an our family, dear. And if you wanted to have a baby so bad, then you could have definitely did it on your own. But as I recall, and as we all should recall, when this first came upon it, she said she didn't have time for a baby. She has this to do and that to do and her life to live and Blaze to do. She was never planning on having a baby. But now Blaze puts it in her head, and now she's thinking, our baby. I hope TJ takes her to court and brings up all her dirty trailers, all of it, the bad relationships, the bad choices, everything. I hope he does. And what can we bring up about him? Let's be real. What can we say about TJ? He's in a domestic partnership. That ain't going to stop no judge from ruling they can have the baby. They don't have to be legally married, because Christina is a single mom. I'm going to step back. I'm going to get back to this. But that's how I feel. That's how I feel, guys. There is no law that would prevent him from having joint custody of the child unless he is proven unfit. And him wanting her to stay away from her father, who's getting guns aimed at him, is not showing that he's unfit. It's showing that this man has been traumatized by losing his first kid, and he don't want to lose this next one. And I'm pretty sure a good lawyer could definitely swing the eye right back at Christina and her history if she wants to play that game. And I want to see that. I want to see that. You see what when they dragged Michael into court and brought up all his past history and hurt him and embarrassed him in front of his family. If they can do that to him, then the same thing should happen to baby sis, right? Like the cult thing, the older professor thing. I mean, let's be real. The flighty behavior thing, there's just so much. Alexis asks, does Molly know that she is there stabbing her sister in the back? And then Alexis says, I'm not going to choose between my daughters. Alexis reminds Christina that this is TJ and Molly's kid. Chris goes on about trying to do the right thing, but she's not trying to do the right thing. She's not trying to do the right thing. She's not trying to do the right thing at all. She's really just trying to stab two people. Well, one person really, because Molly's her family. The baby will be with Molly and her all the time. But the person that's going to get the short end of the stick will be TJ. And I wrote, she knows nothing about doing the right thing. Her whole, I've been preparing myself to sign the baby over was like, what? What do you mean you've been preparing to sign your baby over? You already knew that was the plan from the beginning, sis. Oh, but you've been preparing yourself. This is another 1,000 reason why we all knew that Christina being the surrogate and egg donor was a bad decision in the first place. Alexis sending her the links was totally BS. Totally BS. Because the links you should have sent her is you should have talked to her about how strong a court case TJ would have against her. You should have told her honestly what her options was. But you know what? All she would have done is went to Sonny, and he would have lied to her and filled her head with unicorns and fairy dust. So I guess this child really don't get no real nothing from either one of her parents, because they're both enabling her BS. This is enabling to the highest power. The only good thing that Alexis does do is remind Christina of the promises that she made to her sister and TJ, and what breaking those promises would do. But she ain't hearing that, because she has to protect her baby, because that's exactly how she feels. Chase goes to visit, Christina leaves. Chase goes to visit Alexis, tells her what's going on with Finn's drinking. They discuss when he started and how he was saying that he was stopping. The fact that Finn feels that he's a drug addict and not an alcoholic and that he can still drink. Alexis does bring up the fact that he does go to AA meetings, Alcoholics Anonymous meetings, so Chase is still blaming himself, and Alexis tells him that this is on Finn and not him. This is not on Chase. This is not on Chase at all. This is all Finn's doing. Chase wants to know if his brother has been going to meetings, and of course Alexis can't tell him that. It's Alcoholics Anonymous. It's anonymous. But they play a couple of word games back and forth, and it's found that he has not been going to any class, and he's just been lying to his bro. It ends with Alexis telling Chase that she will speak to him, but we've seen the previews. That don't look that good either. I really, really hate what they're doing with Michael Easton. No, I did not care for Finn, because let's just be real, but how he was, to me, still a great freaking father. A great freaking father. And they're just turning him into like the rest of the deadbeats on there. And even when they're trying to turn him into a vet, he still isn't showing his deadbeatness, because we're going to talk about that in the next scene. Not the next scene, but I'll talk more about Finn later. Because now we got Chase. Before he went to go see Alexis, he went to talk to Liz to discuss Finn's drinking. And that's how he finds out that they're not together anymore, and about Blondie. Liz tells Chase about Finn and Blondie and her busting him on the couch. And Liz is now going to Al-Anon, and knows she doesn't want her kids to be in Finn's mess. And that got me to wonder, did she go to any Al-Anons before, when, with Lucky and with her other issues with men? Or was this just with Finn? It's not wrong to go to Al-Anon. I went to Al-Anon from my family member, my mom. She's an alcoholic. And I did Al-Anon, and it really did help me understand enablement, and how you can enable a drinker, understand that it wasn't my fault, me or my siblings' fault that my mom has this disease. And it was helpful. It was helpful in navigating this, with living with her when I was younger, and her going through this. And I will say it was her and my grandmother that introduced me to Al-Anon. My mom knew she had a problem. She has been trying to get sober all her life. She's sober now. She's been sober sober-ish. She's sober. I'm just going to say she's sober, because she's not drinking. But my mom also has dementia, so. Anyway, Chase understands, but can't end things with him, because he's his brother. Elizabeth does tell Chase about dealing with Finn and his last bout of addiction and his denials when he was with Hayden, and warns Chase not to enable Finn. They discuss Finn and him not having a sponsor, and that Alexis might be an option for support. They also discuss Violet leaving and the safety of Violet and intervention. Liz says that she will talk to Finn one more time. So we're at Finn's place now. And Finn's sleeping, probably sleeping it off. And Violet wants to go to the pool. She's made lunches. She's been waiting patiently while her dad gets his nap. He told her he was napping because the food had to digest. He was probably napping to sleep that off. They discuss swimming, and Finn tells her he knows that it's been hard because he's been really sad about losing Grandpa. And Finn tells her that they're going to go swimming, and he'll work on his sadness. Now, and they pinky promise. Now, this was not an action of a bad dad. Yeah, he overslept. Yeah, he was tired, but parents get tired. Yes, he was tired because of the drinking. I'm not going to overlook that. I'm not. As a child of a mom that has alcoholic issues, I'm not overlooking the danger of what Finn's doing. But I also don't see. I'm just hoping that nothing happens to Violet, and I'm hoping, especially not at the hands of Finn. I don't really think he could come back from that. He loves his daughter. She is his only thing that he has that's holding him together, which is why he's holding on to her fiercely. Liz comes over to see Finn and Violet, and tries to convince Finn to let Violet stay with her, and that she loves him and she just doesn't want to see Violet. She just wants Violet to be safe. Finn does start playing the victim again, and you're abandoning me and stuff, which is something that people with that addiction do. They do that. And she's like, no, I'm just looking out for my kids and Violet. And that's Elizabeth's right. Elizabeth doesn't want to bring that toxicity into her children's life. She has the right to say no to that and walk away. And besides, guys, we wanted this relationship over anyway. Let's be real. Liz brings up her past with Finn's addiction, and shortly after that, Liz is shown the door, and Finn takes Violet swimming. And he tells her, I ain't gonna say it again. Ain't nobody taking my daughter. Like I said, I don't think Alexis is gonna win too much with Finn either. That's right, he's probably gonna feel like everybody's turning against him. Hopefully she can get a word in. I really feel like the only thing that's gonna wake him up is his daughter. Her something happening where she sees him in not such a great way. I don't want him to be lashing out on his daughter like he lashed out on Chase. I don't want him to be lashing on his daughter like he lashed out on Liz. I do not want them to. This disconstruction of Finn is just, it's kind of a lot. It's just kind of a lot. But anyway, guys, I'm going to wrap this up. Yeah, I think this was it. Was this the last story? I'm just going to wrap this up and say I don't want to see another kid get hurt. I don't want that, GH. And guys, GH got to do better, okay? I mean, they got to do better. This writing is getting pretty. And I know we're like leaving 3 writing regimes like back to back. First it was the boys. I can't think of their name right now. Then it was the new writer and Elizabeth Corte taken in. Dan and Chris, there you go. Dan and Chris, they're gone. Then it was Paul or Peter, can't think of his name, and Elizabeth Corte, and then he left. Elizabeth's now the head writer, and Chris is back, and he's like not the head writer, but he's still in the writing regime. GH needs to make some changes. They really do. It's getting kind of upsetting. Not like I'm gonna turn the channel, but they need to make some changes. They really do. They need to do a lot more representation, and they need to do honest representation. There's a lot of storylines that are just like rewriting history in a major way, and it's making a lot of people uncomfortable, including me. Where people should be growing, they're not growing. I just feel like this GH could be so much more. It could be so much more. It's been around so long, and we really have hope for it. I don't want to lose General Hospital. It's the last ABC show we have. And I ain't gonna lie, all my children in One Life to Live could run circles around General Hospital, but it's the last one we have, guys. So I'm just really hoping they do better. I really do. It's but the writing is so lacking, and the storylines are so lacking, and there's not a lot of representation on there, and that's starting to become a little bit. I'm kind of over it. It's like, this is 2024. We should be doing a lot more, a lot better by now. But I digress. I'm not gonna turn this into I don't like GH and take on GH, because that's not how I feel. I just want them to do better. We all should want them to do better, because we don't want them to go off. And there's a lot of people that are screaming for them to go off. They're just done. Let's not go that far, because we have nothing to replace that, okay? Nothing. Anyway, guys, I hope you have an amazing weekend. And I will talk to you guys Monday. Please say a prayer for my family, guys. We really need it. Say a prayer for my uncle's sisters and his children. Say a prayer for my uncle's children, because this is hard. This is just crazy. And you guys have a blessed night. I'll talk to you later.